Good afternoon. My name's Noni Carr and I'm the Principal and Owner Director of Enhanced Life Psychology, a private practice based in Paran in Australia. I am wanting to come to you today to have a chat about what a counselling psychologist is. And this is prompted a little bit by my participation as a participant in some research that's being conducted by by an experienced APS psychologist, hi Kim, who is looking at what counselling psychologists and how we view ourselves within the profession of psychology. And I am interested in this because when I did my undergraduate in psychology, I was very interested in lots of different areas, but when I got to my fourth year, I decided that there were areas of psychology that I was not interested in, and some of those were the forensic psychology, for example, working with the potentially the criminal population or that end. I wasn't particularly interested in working with people with complex psychiatric disorders within a hospital setting. So the area that interested me was counselling psychology. But I took a bit of a break from that and did a DipEd, Graduate Diploma of Education. Did some teaching and really enjoyed working in that field. And so I ended up working in there for a couple of years, but decided that I wasn't cut out for teaching. Hi Catherine, hi Brad. And so I decided to go back and do my master's. But I chose counselling psychology because that spoke to me as an area that I was interested in. So my understanding of counselling psychology is more about how we interact with people and about relationships and how we interact with our history and how we are and how we want to be and our values and those sorts of things. So where I work from in terms of when I'm with clients, I work from the perspective of where a client's at and how can I work with them and how can my relationship with them help them. So it's about where they're at. I'm Mark, and where they're going from and where they've been, and looking at their strengths and their using those strengths to assist them to manage the issues that they're struggling with. And so that's the perspective I work from. And I've been working from this perspective for a long time, and I'll often take quite an interest in, hi Renee, quite an interest in where they've come from and their experiences in their life. So I draw on where they've been and what they've experienced in life, and I take that and I add to that my experiences as a person who've lived their life, but also I draw on my experiences as a psychologist and my training. So I did 4 years of an undergraduate in psychology. I did a year of studying teaching. I did 3 years teaching, and I spent four and a half years doing my Masters of Counselling Psychology part-time. And so I learnt a fair amount of that, and I've actually been working as a psychologist for 10 years now. And hi Tess. And so I draw on all of this experience, and I work with someone who's sitting with me, and I work with where they're at in this moment, here and now. And I draw on that history that they have and the history that I have and the relationship that we then develop. And I think this is a little bit different to the way some other psychologists might work. Not all psychologists, but I also am not interested in pigeonholing my clients. So I don't tend not to look for a problem and give them a label for that problem unless I think and they agree that that's helpful for them. So I don't go about looking for a diagnosis and then looking for how do I fix that problem, because we are not a diagnosis and we are not a problem. We are an individual and we might struggle with something. Hi Ag. We might struggle with something in our daily lives, and I look at how can I help that person sitting in front of me deal with the issue that they are struggling with, and how can I help them develop some strategies and some different approaches in the way they think about what they're struggling with. Hey Jamie, and approach that and help them hopefully find an easier way of living, maybe some good strategies that then they can live the life that they really want to live. I might help them look at their values. So what's most important to you? Is it family? Is it friends? Is it career? And what about those is important, and how do we enhance that in your life? And I suppose that's where the name of my practice, Enhanced Life Psychology, has come from, because I want to help my clients live their best life or their enhanced life. And that is often about taking what's good and emphasising that, taking the skills and experiences that they've had and building on those to help them manage issues and struggles that they might be having. Often I work with clients who deal with anxiety, and anxiety it's actually the most common mental health disorder experienced. I think the stats are close to 4 out of 5 people will experience anxiety at some point in their life. In fact, everyone experiences anxiety because that's how we survive. So if we're worried about something, that's anxiety, but it might not be something that we consider as problematic in your life. So we don't consider that a real problem. But when people are really struggling with anxiety, it might stop them doing what they want to do. So if someone struggles with talking to somebody or talking to people, then that's actually impacting on their life. It's having an unhelpful impact on their life. And so I would work with someone and look at their strengths and teach them some strategies to manage the anxiety and to manage the thoughts that are creating that anxiety so that they can feel more comfortable and more able to talk to people or to go out or to do things that they find a little bit more challenging. So I often will work with clients on that, whether it's social anxiety or it might be performance anxiety, and that might involve when we need to go on stage to perform, singing or acting, or when we need to compete in an event, whether it's a race, athletics or cycling, or maybe it's another form of athletics, or maybe it's a team sport, soccer or football or netball or one of those other big sports that you feel anxious running onto the field or going onto the lining up on the start line. And so I would work with people on how do we manage the thoughts that are creating that anxiety that might make it difficult for us to perform the way we want to perform. Sometimes performance anxiety is actually when we need to do a presentation at work, or maybe it's when we need to do a live stream on Facebook just like this. And so myself, I find this a little bit anxiety provoking. I notice for me, my heart rate slightly increased, and I feel a little bit shaky. And I manage this by focusing on the words that I'm saying and the purpose I have with doing this live stream. And so I help my clients to find a way of doing this for themselves, so that when they need to do something that they find challenging, or when you need to do something that you find challenging, it's about, well, how do we work together to find the strategies that work for you? And that can be hard to find. Sometimes it might be breathing, sometimes it might be doing something physical, sometimes it might be changing your focus of your attention, and we work on finding that. Sometimes we look at, so when counselling psychologists have a focus on health and well-being, or mental health and well-being, and we have a focus on relationship. So I find it very important to develop a really strong working relationship with you, my clients, so that this is easier for you and that you feel comfortable to share things. Sometimes this might be about talking about your family history, or it might be talking about your relationship with other people and looking for patterns in that and thinking about, well, how do we want that to be from now on? What would you like that to look like continuing on? So I think something that's quite different about how counselling psychologists work is we have a tendency not to provide a diagnosis and then follow a particular treatment program. And that can work really well with some clients, but that's not my first approach with clients. So I think, I'm not sure that I've explained it very well, but I would welcome any questions on this, and that will help me answer your questions and provide further information. So if you're interested in more information on how counselling psychologists are a little bit different, and we work in lots of different areas, please comment. I think that this is important for lots of people to, not important, but that could be valuable for lots of people to hear, that we are counselling psychologists are very good at what we do, just as many other psychologists are very good at what they do. And so I think, if you wanted to share it, that would be welcome. But I definitely welcome comments and questions down below. Hi Irene. So I am about to finish up, but I would like you to live the best life that you would like to live, and you're more than welcome to contact me through Facebook or through my website, enhancelife.com.au. There is a link on my Facebook profile now. Hi Wayne, I'm just finishing up. So if you'd like to find out more about what I do, please do feel free to head over to my website or head along to my business profile page, Enhanced Life Psychology, which is also linked to my page, my personal profile. So thank you very much for watching and joining me today, and have a lovely day, and I look forward to helping you live your enhanced life. Bye.